I've always had a hard time with my weight, especially if you guys have been following me for a long time. You know that my weight goes up and down, especially the past year or two. I've really had a hard time having control over my food. And just this past week, this is the week 1 in my weight loss journey 2025, I have changed my diet. I have been eating protein, just a little bit of carbs, veggies. My volume has gone down. I've been able to fast. I've just gotten control over my food just this past week. This is what I did. Number 1, I had to go cold turkey. The past few years, I've been trying to find healthy, clean meals, like where can I get that deliciousness but take out the carbs, make it clean. And the problem with that is I'm still kind of dipping my toes in the water. It's keeping me in that loop of what got me there is overeating because the food's so good, blah, blah, blah. So I had to just go cold turkey. How I think about my meals now, have this picture of just ground beef with salt and pepper. Super plain, barely any flavor, because the flavor, it tastes so good. That's where I start. That's what pulls me back down that path. When I think about my meal, I think about how could I just get straight protein, just straight protein. That helps me a lot to just hone in on just protein. And then I allow myself a little bit of carbs or a little bit of veggies, a little bit here. And that kind of keeps me in check. In order to get to this point where I can just eat so plain, because I wouldn't have done it last year, I wouldn't have done it months ago. I realize I eat if my soul is hungry. Y'all, when I heard that, it was like, oh, you know, I heard all of the bells go off. My soul was hungry. That was kind of my way of feeding my soul. So in order to get to where I'm eating just ground beef with salt and pepper, which I haven't actually eaten that, but that's like the picture, I'm just eating straight protein. In order to get to that place, I had to feed my soul. So I do things like I go to yoga, I have a dance class, what else do I do? I do the red light therapy, the way I talk to myself, being in the present moment, whatever works for you, the stuff that just makes me feel good and kind of, I can put everything else aside and just enjoy it and love being in the present moment. That allowed me to get to where I can just eat plain because my soul is fed. In order to get to where I could feed my own soul, was I had to set boundaries. What happens is we've got so many things going on, and when we have things in our life that drain us, it takes away our energy. We only get so much energy each day. I like to think about it like a balloon. If you untie the balloon at the top, the first energy to come out is the strongest. As time goes on, once you get to the last bit of air, it's a lot weaker. What happens is we've got a million things going on in our lives. We've got to make a living. We've got relationships. We've got family. We've got all kinds of different things that pull at us and take our energy. So that gets all of the first stuff out of the balloon. And then when it comes to weight loss, okay, I got to get in shape. It's the last bit of air. There's no forward motion. There's no push behind it because it's everything else has been used up everywhere else. So that's why we always end up like, oh, Monday I'm going to start. Okay, I really got to get on this, blah, blah, blah. But it's because we have to make a living. We have all these other things, and that gets the best of us. That gets the best of our energy. In order for me to stop giving away so much of my best energy, I had to set boundaries. Not just set boundaries, but enforce them. So if a boundary's crossed for me, enforcing it means I'll say something the first time. Sorry, y'all, I had to drop this edit in here. If the boundary gets crossed the third time, then I have to remove myself from a situation. I have to change things so that I am not pouring my energy into that. Since I've done that, I've had the energy to focus on my weight loss, to focus on all of this stuff, which has allowed me to feed my own soul so that I'm not feeding my own soul through food. If we're not able to feed our own souls, we have things in our life that are draining us of our energy, and we have to have those boundaries in place so we don't let that energy go. And then in order to get to the place where I would enforce the boundary, because before it was like, you know, the boundary's there, you know you should do it, but sometimes it's hard to do it. The way I was able to really start enforcing those boundaries is really focusing on the self-love part of it. And I know that sounds like so cliche, But the self-love part of it is making yourself the most important thing in your life. How do you do that? What makes something important is the impact it has on our own lives. And when we set boundaries, or we don't set boundaries, we are having a huge impact on our life because we're letting things drain us, or we're protecting ourselves so that we can take care of ourselves, so that our life is better, so that we have a full cup to give to those people that we do allow in our lives, or those things that we do allow in our lives. Whether it's work or people in your life or whatever the case is, we have to have those boundaries there so that all of our energies not being drained and we can pour into our own cup, and then we have that good energy to give to those people that we have in our lives. All right, sorry, I didn't finish that video, so I'm dropping this in. So we're reverse engineering this. First, you have to start off with self-love. So whatever fills you up, whatever makes time go by so fast, whatever feeds your soul. And that may even be like going and figuring out, like just trying different things. Give it a chance, give it some time. Things are a little uncomfortable when they're new. They can be uncomfortable, but once you start getting in a rhythm of it, then it becomes fun. For me, yoga was tough, and the more I do it, the more I'm enjoying it. And I found for myself that if just the sound of doing things for myself is kind of like, doesn't really do it for me, it's not really sounding that exciting to me, it's because I am drained of my energy. It's because the thought of adding something else to my plate is like, you know, I know I need to, but and that's where the letting go of things or removing myself from situations come in. Sometimes it's like a tough pill to swallow, but letting go of things for me is what freed up my energy. Everyone around me gets a better version of me because of that, because I'm not draining of my energy, and I can be of better service, I feel like. So sorry, I'm going to recap this one more time. Sorry, I know this is all over the place. But so first, self-love, and that's making yourself the most important thing. That's prioritizing yourself, putting the oxygen mask on yourself first. Number 2 is putting boundaries in place so that you can pour into yourself, because you are the most important thing in your life. You are just as important as every other human being. There's no reason why we should push ourselves down to be of service to others. We should be of service to ourselves, and then we're better service and give better energy to others around us. So that one's a really hard one, because I know it's easy to make that a gray area, and then before you know it, the self-love piece of it is like, okay, I really gotta start doing that. But with practice, it becomes that. And then letting go of things that do not serve you, it drains you of your energy, then that allows for your self-love piece of it. And then once all of that prep work is done, all of that stuff is taken care of, now I'm to the place where I can think, okay, how can I just get straight protein in? It's because before I was needing to fill my soul with food. I guess we all have our ways of doing that. And for me, it was like food. So now that all those cups are full, I still am like, ooh, what sounds good? Pizza. And I'll order a pizza and just eat the toppings off of it. So I still am working on it, but it's allowing me to make that shift, which I don't believe I would have otherwise. So anyways, I hope this video helps you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah, mwah, mwah.